right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Held hostage for 50 days tonight, the youngest American citizen taken by Hamas is finally coming home.
Every life is precious.
Children are children, and they should be not touched.
Tonight, local reaction from both sides of the conflict.
A windy day throughout the area with gusts over 30 miles an hour as that storm moved through. How the wind's going to play a factor over the next couple of days, and we'll switch it and warm us up down the road.
Our top story, a deadly shooting at a North County hotel. Tonight, 2 young men are charged with murder. Those 2 young men are 18 and 20 years old. A third juvenile suspect is also in custody tonight. Good evening, I'm Mark Maxwell. Mike Bush has the night off. 2 men were shot last night at the In-Town Suites Hotel on Dunn Road in Hazelwood. One of them died at the hospital. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski has the latest details on the investigation.
Hazelwood police say they were called to the In-Town Suites Extended Stay Hotel off Dunn Road Saturday night just after 10:45 on reports of shots fired. Officers say they found a 52-year-old man on the floor inside the hotel with a gunshot wound to the leg and tried to help the victim as much as possible before he was rushed to the hospital where he died. The investigation led detectives to another location roughly a mile and a half away. Hazelwood police say they then found another man with a gunshot wound to the chest inside a car here in the 8200 block of North Lindbergh. That man was also rushed to the hospital, but they haven't released any information about his condition. Police originally said an argument between both of the victims happened at the hotel before shots rang out. But then Sunday afternoon, police announced they arrested and charged 20-year-old Jaylen McElroy and 18-year-old Marshawn Brinkley with second-degree murder, assault, and armed criminal action. A juvenile was also taken into custody. I reached out to the hotel, but no one was available for comment. This is the third shooting incident in this area over the last roughly 2 months. A man was shot and killed at the Quick Trip on Lindbergh in early October, and just last weekend a man was shot after an argument at the Phillips 66 across the street from QT. Reporting in Hazelwood, Laura Barczewski, 5 on Your Side.
And if you know anything about that shooting, you can call Hazelwood Police at 314-838-5000. Tonight, St. Louis police are looking for the man who shot a 65-year-old man in the head in North City. That shooting happening yesterday afternoon near Claxton and Lillian Avenues of Union. We're told the man has severe injuries. Investigators have not yet said what led up to that shooting. And tonight, Wentzville police are investigating a shooting that sent 1 person to the hospital. That happened just before 1:30 this morning on West Allen Street. Police say multiple people were arguing when someone fired a gun. A man was shot in the chest and taken to the hospital. We're told he is expected to survive. Police tell us they arrested several suspects and seized a gun. And a live look at St. Louis Lambert International Airport tonight. A record number of people were expected to pass through airports across the country as they head home from the Thanksgiving holiday. Only a handful of delays reported at Lambert, with some snow just to our north and west. No snow reaching St. Louis, just a cold rain that has since moved out. Weather First meteorologist Gary Frank is tracking a frigid start to the week. Gary?
Yeah, and it's that wind that we felt throughout the day, and obviously it made it feel cooler throughout the day, but as the sun came out, it was at least a little bit better. Now that wind behind that is really settled in. It's with us right now as well. You can see the trees moving around, the flags here in Edwardsville just a little bit as that at least rain and snow mix that we had, more snow to the north than anything, that moved out. We've seen a few clouds kind of hang around. They're going to keep us from tanking too much, but look at all that frigid air to the north. And not only is colder air settling in, but we're looking at temps that have held steady in the mid-30s. We're at 37 right now. We get a west breeze at 12 miles an hour. It feels like 29. That's going to be a key for us even into the overnight hours as we have our wind speeds that are up tonight. We have slow clearing, but temps in the upper 20s. It's a colder start to the week. We are warming back up briefly, but we have more actual rain chances. It's hard to believe 2 Sundays in a row I've been able to talk about something falling from the sky, and it's all liquid this time. We'll continue to talk about that and also target that warmer day and how much rain we can expect down the road.
Tonight, all lanes of I-44 in Shrewsbury are back open. 2 eastbound lanes were closed for most of the day as crews cleaned up an overturned semi. The crash happened around 7:30 this morning. Police say the trailer detached from the cab and rolled down the hill. We're told no one was seriously hurt. That crash remains under investigation. Tonight, the St. Louis Bomb and Arson Unit is investigating a deadly fire in South City. The fire broke out around 8:30 yesterday morning on Water Street in the Patch neighborhood. Firefighters found a man dead inside. Investigators have not yet released his identity or a cause of the fire. An early morning fire caused a scare at a senior living facility in Webster Groves. The two-alarm fire broke out around 5 this morning at the Laclede Groves Lutheran Senior Services facility on Laclede Station Road. 9 other departments pitched in to help put that fire out and rescue 18 people from the building. Some neighbors, like Bill Wickman, were woken up by the blaring horns and lights.
We just woke up and looked out the window and saw the lights up here, and there was so many fire companies. We just wondered what was going on. Webster's good at getting over here all the time. Unfortunately, the ambulances are here a lot just because of the community, but they're really quick to respond.
Wickman believes the concrete walls of that building helped shield it from more damage. Officials say the fire was contained to only one apartment and only one person was taken to the hospital. They are expected to be okay. Tonight, 17 more hostages have been freed by Hamas. Among them, a 4-year-old girl. She's the first American citizen hostage released. This latest release coming on the 3rd day of a 4-day ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, which is also allowing humanitarian aid to enter Gaza. A total of 58 hostages have been released so far, but 180 remain in Gaza, including 9 Americans. There's hope that truce could stretch on longer to allow for more of the hostages to be released. And tonight, there's hope for peace here in St. Louis. 5 on your side's Annie Krall has reaction from both Jewish and Islamic leaders. Annie?
Well, exactly, Mark. It's a huge step forward releasing the first American from Hamas today, though President Biden announcing his administration still wants more during this 4-day pause. 4-year-old American Israeli citizen Abigail Edan has been freed, but tragically lost both of her parents, killed while trying to save her in the October 7th attacks just outside Gaza.
It is horrific. Every single life lost is horrific.
17 hostages were released by Hamas on Sunday, including Abigail Edan, who is now in the hands of the Red Cross.
She's been through a terrible trauma. You know, her mom was killed in front of her when her kibbutz was attacked.
Abigail's father was also shot and killed by Hamas militants as he was attempting to shield her from the gunfire. Karen Scher, a mother and leader of the Jewish Federation of St. Louis, says Abigail's story is tragic.
But I can't even imagine what she's coming home to and what she's going to be dealing with and what she saw, what she remembers or what she doesn't remember. She's so young.
Taken by Hamas nearly 7 weeks ago, Abigail is just one of thousands of children caught in the international crosshairs.
The plight of Abigail, which I personally and we all sympathize with, shed the light on the plight of 200 Palestinian children who nobody's talking about, and children are children, and they should be not touched. Families should not be touched.
A statement from the Red Cross saying, quote, "The plight of people being held hostage and their loved ones is a top priority. The ICRC continues to pursue every possible avenue to secure the release of all remaining hostages, calling for urgent, immediate access to all those detained." Palestinians celebrating their own hostages being released. Photos from the reunion show 6 women and 33 children freed from 2 prisons as part of an exchange deal with Israeli authorities.
And all children are the same, should be protected, both Palestinians and Israelis, not one side over the other.
Each day we pray that we get more of these hostages released. We are holding so much.
Hamas has now released dozens of the more than 200 hostages being held. For now, no permanent truce has been reached, so come Tuesday in Israel, the ceasefire will end. You can follow the latest news on the hostage release by texting Israel to 314-425-5355. We'll send a link of the latest news directly to your phone.
Healing families.
Don't let anybody tell you you aren't important in the life of your child.
A sister's mission to break the cycle of absentee parents. 'Tis the season to shop and park.
Parking is not a competitive sport.
Tonight, tips on finding the best spot and the holiday parking etiquette to keep you on the nice list.
Wind chills tomorrow morning are going to be cooler. We're in the mid-20s is what it's going to feel like when an even colder morning is on the way and when we'll finally flip the script and warm back up.
Area food banks are struggling to stock their shelves this holiday season, so a local grocery chain is trying to help meet the demand. Ruler Foods recently announced it's hosting a food drive. Now through December 23rd, stores are collecting non-perishable food items. It's part of the Kroger Company's Zero Hunger, Zero Waste campaign aimed at ending hunger and food waste. According to the St. Louis Area Food Bank, donations are down 16%, but need is up 11%. For more information on how you can help, check out the article in the As Seen on TV section at KSDK.com. Now, here's Mike Bush with this week's Making a Difference report.
Making a Difference is sponsored by Midwest Bank Center.
Breaking the cycle of absentee and non-involved fathers. That's the mission of the Fathers and Family Support Center in St. Louis. But they couldn't do it without dedicated workers and volunteers, including a local woman determined to make a difference.
This is my 141st class at Fathers and Family Support Center.
It's graduation night at University City High School.
Miss Carrie Trinkle.
But these graduates aren't from U-City, and they don't go to high school.
I started this program to become a better mommy, and that's exactly what I've done.
They all just finished the 6-week family formation program at the Fathers and Family Support Center.
We made it, y'all.
And no one got more hugs this night
Alan.
than Sister Carol Schumer.
Don't let anybody tell you you aren't important in the life of your child.
For more than 2 decades, Sister Schumer of the Daughters of Charity has been leading the support center's parenting class.
Nobody was teaching parents how to be parents, because the only way we learn how to be a parent is by who parented us.
Sister Schumer is a former teacher and school principal who came to the center as a volunteer. The center's mission is to improve the lives of children.
Our values come through
by empowering uninvolved, non-custodial fathers, and now mothers,
you can get through, okay,
to become responsible, involved parents.
Right.
Many of them have been incarcerated and are here because they need jobs, they need help, they need to get reestablished.
I ended up in prison because of a robbery. And it was just a point in my life to where I was just doing whatever for attention and trying to fill a void.
31-year-old Myron McGee came here determined to turn his life around and become a better parent to his 11-year-old son.
Everything else that's gone before.
He admits it was a bit awkward at first to hear parenting advice from a nun.
Once she started talking and teaching class, it was obvious, like, that she knew what she was talking about.
What I try to get them to realize is that the most important thing you can give your children is yourself. So don't ever not go see your children without thinking you don't have anything to give them.
Because you're the stability, you're the security.
Since she started, the support center says Sister Carol has touched the lives of nearly 20,000 fathers. And that includes recent graduate Brian Lewis.
I'm no longer in the negative space where I was. I don't feel the fear that comes a lot. I'm feeling much more excited about the new path I have ahead.
I appreciate y'all time here.
Graduation night is a chance to say goodbye to each other and hello to a new beginning.
I have to tell you, the graduations are just wonderful because so many of these men have not finished anything.
I have the skills and the resources to be the best man and the best father for my family. Thank you.
I thank God for this.
Helping parents understand the present of their presence.
The people she helps go on to help their families, their communities. It's a cycle upward.
I think we need to give our graduates another standing ovation.
Sister Carol Schumer shining a light for struggling parents so they can see a brand new path.
She's an amazing woman.
And Sister Carol has announced her retirement. She will be celebrating her final graduation class on Friday, December 8th, and that night she will be celebrated too.
All right, meteorologist Gary Frank joining us now with the Weather First forecast. Gary?
Yeah, it's going to be nice and chilly here. We started to see more winds pick up throughout the day, and with gusts over 30 miles an hour, that's what we've really felt. As we look at Florissant right now, wind not moving the trees too much, but it's just enough to where it's noticeable here. And what we'll continue to look at here, you know, our time lapse, this is what we were around with this morning. Obviously, the airport, very busy place. Liquid, everybody moving smoothly, even the planes backing in and out. So those mix of snowflakes further north that they flew, that was not so much an issue. But Kathy from Eolia, A few flakes of snow. This was further north. This was not so much in the city, and a lot of us were not impacted by it at all. That's one of the reasons why we started off, at least this morning, on the warmer side. And even as we're starting to fall right now, temperatures started off right around freezing, and they were very, very briefly. It really didn't coincide with the precipitation as that moved out pretty quickly. You'll see where those clouds have mostly settled out, and it's a slow clearing. We still have a few more clouds here as we look at our current temperature, though. Right now, 38 degrees. That west breeze making it feel like it's 31, but we got to 42 today. Our normal is 51. We'll see more of that down the road, but we had 1,800ths of an inch today. That brings us up to 6,900ths of an inch so far this month. And right now, that's the 15th driest November on record. I think if we don't get any more precipitation, it's a top 10 dry month. There's a possibility Thursday we may sneak that in. That's what we'll talk about. But future winds overnight still out of the west, and it's going to pick back up again here as we head into tomorrow. So expect that it's going to start off cold. You will start off feeling like in Jerseyville, Litchfield, 14, 15, it's chilly outside if you're back to work or school, and even in the afternoon, feels like it's in the upper 20s or low 30s. It's going to cool down pretty quickly. So for tomorrow, even as we start off in the mid-20s, low 40s, the wind is going to be a significant factor for us tomorrow. And as we look off to the west, you'll notice this system that churns. It doesn't look like all that much, but it's a pretty impressive one. That's our next rain chance Thursday and Friday. We're tracking that all the way off the coast to the Pacific, and here's where it shows up. As that cold weather exits, we're going to warm back up. We're going to see things dry out a little bit, but you'll start to see that dip here as it works its way into the Four Corners. That's what's going to arrive and bring us our next chance for rain. And this is why I'm excited about it for once, because as it does so, I think we're going to actually see this bring moisture and a couple of chances for rain and maybe even beyond that. So for the next few days, mid-50s Wednesday, a few showers late Thursday, but as we head into Friday and even through the weekend, that's when I think things are a little bit improved. And no really cold air either, even after we are below freezing by Monday night.
We are on the move, working your way around the lot or garage to find an open parking spot this holiday season is something most shoppers dread. We have a few important reminders.
My recommendations are to come early. The mall opens at 10 a.m., so if you shop early, you're going to avoid part of that parking congestion because it really peaks it from 1 to 4 p.m. Come with a great attitude, right? Parking is not a competitive sport.
And along with taking the first open spot you see, here's another good rule of thumb about parking in the mall garages.
There's always parking in our parking garage. Recommendation for parking in the parking garage is keep going up. Keep going up.
We've all had the thought, how about showing that car that's sitting in your desired parking spot that you're there and it's finally time to back out?
Honking can be very frustrating and can really escalate things quickly.
Tammy Ivy also told me to take right turns on the way out of the mall after shopping to keep the traffic moving. All right, be safe. Good luck. Paul Cook, 5 on your side.
The year's busiest shopping weekend is coming to a close. The big days for local shops and the new deals dropping tomorrow. One of the busiest shopping weekends of the year is wrapping up, and many local shops offered special deals to capitalize on the holiday rush. The owners of Bar STL in Lindenwood Park leaned on this weekend to prep for their next one in January.
Gearing up for our busiest season, which is New Year's, naturally with New Year's resolutions, health, fitness goals, etc. The support from the local community is our lifeline.
Also this weekend, 18 vendors came together at the City Foundry to celebrate Small Business Saturday.
There's just a lot of wonderful makers here in St. Louis, and we also wanted to find a way, again, to celebrate. Like Foundry in itself has so many incredible small businesses, so it's fun to turn it into just a full-on weekend event. I mean, it just gives them an avenue to connect with people in real time, meet people in person, and also get more of their goods out in the world.
The National Retail Federation says about 63 million shoppers turned out for in-store shopping on Saturday. That makes it the third most important shopping day during the 5-day Thanksgiving weekend. And in less than 90 minutes, Cyber Monday gets underway. According to MasterCard, shoppers spent about 2.5% more than they did last year on Black Friday. So there's high stakes for retailers tomorrow. You can find prices cut by up to 60% at Target And Walmart's offering deals up to 80% off. Amazon will announce new deals every 5 minutes with the biggest discounts on electronics and apparel there. And if you're looking to give back this holiday season, we're partnering with the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition for the Little Wishes campaign. You can make things a bit brighter for a child in foster care by giving them a gift. Next Saturday, there's an in-person shopping day at the Circle of Knowledge in Sunset Hills. You can also buy gifts by going to ksdk.com/littlewishes. Christmas tree lots are popping up around town. The simple steps to keep your trees merry and bright. And this week on The Record, could abortion be on your ballot in 2024? I spoke with the Republican behind one of the efforts to get an abortion question on Missouri ballots. Here's a sneak peek.
What we're doing is we want to make sure that victims do have access to abortion. We've put forth a proposal that would allow a crime victim to get an abortion before fetal viability in the cases of rape or incest.
That full interview and more tonight after Sports Plus. With Thanksgiving over, people are ready to deck the halls. Several people showed up at the Kirkwood Farmers Market today to buy a fresh Christmas tree. If you're looking to get a live tree this year, there's a few things you want to keep in mind. Be sure to saw off the bottom right before you put it in the water, and check those water levels every day. Some varieties can take up to 2 gallons a day. Ideally, give them warm or room temperature water to help prevent sap from hardening at the base of that trunk. That's all of our time for 5 on your side at 10. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. Now, here's Frank Cusimano with Sports Plus.